first line I ever wrote? I was in the womb. I'm kidding. No, I'm joking. I have no idea.
Why is that such a hard first?
I went out to the line that I can think of is I went out to the street, hearing the cats screeching inside my house.
Okay, so I can't remember the first line I wrote, but I can tell you the first line of poetry, like real poetry that my daughter, she was 5 at the time.
Okay.
We were coming out of getting pizza, and she said, "Look, Daddy, the lights are losing their arms."
Ooh.
And I was like, "I'm stealing." It was like because the lights were coming down, they weren't as bright as they were. And she was like, "The lights are losing their arms." I was like, "Oh my God."
See, so this is amazing because I don't remember mine, but I remember my daughter's too. And when she was 8, she wrote a poem for the Newtown children that died, right, in Sandy Hook. And one of her closing lines was, "The grass opens like doors for the Newtown Jews."
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah, I can't remember a lot of that.
so we get older, we forget how to poet.
Yeah, I don't remember like my first line, but I remember when I started getting like kind of more serious about writing, and like I took it like a little bit more in a way of like, okay, maybe this could be something that I would perform or something like that. And I don't think it was even the first line of a poem, but just from that poem, the line that I remembered was, "Where even the unwanted have worth."
Made me broke.
Yeah.
It gave me opportunity to connect with different perspectives that I didn't understand. I started writing in different voices and seeing what I could find there. I don't think I would be half as conscious as I am now if I wasn't writing poetry.
Yeah. That's it. I think for me, it got me to actually travel around the world, to see different cultures and see different people. So the art did that for me, but also just like from a fundamental standpoint of like, it changes the way that you consume the world. You know what I mean? You look at the world differently when you're writing about it. Like folks say that if you want to actually go and understand the history of a time, don't go to the history books, go to the poets, because they don't have any loyalty to like any kind of, mechanical government system. You go to the poets and they tell you the truth. So for me, that's how it's kind of shifted, kind of where my life is going.
I think
Miss
for
Poet
me,
Laureate.
I think if I could play bass like Prince or Flea, then I wouldn't be here doing it with words. But since I can, it's hard to not echo what you're saying because it's about, again, I go back to how do we keep from self-destruction and from hurting each other, right? It's got to be through the art. It always goes back to the art. Look at the Frisco Five with their hunger strikes, but they've got street poetry, street festivals. They got the musicians coming out to play for them, and this is what's gathering the power. It always has.
Yeah, I think for me, like poetry was what was created, but what manifested from that was community. And I think for me, I kind of searched my whole life to find people like you. Like I've literally tried, I've convinced myself that those were those people, but they weren't. To find people that understand the complexities of things, intersectionality of things, duality of things, that things are not static. I found a lot of frustration in people that I was surrounding myself with, and it drew me towards isolation, towards depression, towards anxiety, towards all of these different things. And I really, honestly, because it's been a year since I've kind of met y'all, and people like Lorenz, Jarvis, and how, that community is something I feel like I'm already successful, having found that. I'm just biting the edge of this whole poetry thing, but I won. Because I got these folks that come to my house for potlucks and we kick it and they take me, they drive me around if my car is broke down or
Careful,
something.
it's a gateway drug.
You know what I'm saying though? Like, poetry.
There's this one thing, right? When I've done workshops that I kind of end with this this equation, right? It's like we define the world by the words we use, right? So we know this is a floor because we call it a floor. We know it's a table because we call it a table. And if it's poets, we can manipulate words, then we can manipulate the world. You know, and so it's like, for me, it's just it's a simple equation in that. It's like, words start wars, they end wars.
Right.
They you know, words are powerful. So, you know, you just kind of love it and want it.
And you're finding a voice as much for yourself as you are finding it through community and for a community. I mean, when I write poetry, I've written poems to best friends who passed away. And that's my way of reconnecting and reaffirming the connection and surviving the essence of a person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.